Hello friends, music lovers, Wes here checking in with another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I talk about 5 albums that I pulled from my inbox, give you a bit of information on each one, let you know what I thought of each one, and let you know whether they're going to be going in the collection or whether they're just something that's not for me. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Good episode here today. First album we have here is an album from 1971. It's a comedy album from Bill Cosby, titled For Adults Only. This is recorded live in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Hilton in 1971. But this is Bill Cosby doing, not necessarily, I mean, Bill Cosby doesn't do dirty comedy, we all know that, but this is more adult themed stuff, things that adults would relate to as far as, you know, bringing up, raising children and you know, domestic issues and stuff like that. It's a pretty good album. Some funny stuff on here. This is on the Uni label. We'll go ahead and pull the album out of here. Interesting to see Bill Cosby on a Uni label, but that is what it is. Nothing of interest in the Dead Wax, but yeah, Bill Cosby For Adults Only. Adding this to my Bill Cosby collection. I do have a small Bill Cosby collection. I grab them when I can. This one was $1 at the flea market last year, or maybe the year before. I don't remember, but cool pickup, fun listen, and enjoyable, and this one will be staying in the collection. Okay, next thing we have to talk about here is the 7th album from Dan Fogelberg, titled The Innocent Age, from 1981 on Epic Full Moon Records. This is his 2 LP piece of music that basically musically takes a journey from birth to death. It's kind of songs written about different stages of people's lives. This was a huge hit for him. You have Run for the Roses, leader of the band, Same Old Lang Syne, and the title track, The Innocent Age, was also a huge hit. But just a really cool album. I was really, you know, I'd heard all those songs millions of times, but there's a lot of other, you know, it's a 2 LP set, so there's a lot of other songs here that I hadn't heard, and just some really beautiful singer-songwriter music that sort of takes, you know, as I said, the stages of life as we go through them, and songs about each stage of life, and it's really, it's a beautiful album, and I was impressed at how much I enjoyed this album. It's good stuff, and it's something thrift store, dollar bin kind of stuff. I bought this in the same place I bought the Bill Cosby album. I paid $1 for this as well. It does have a nice booklet that comes with it that has the lyrics to all the songs, so that is nice. As I said, this is on the Epic Full Moon label, so you get the tree on there with the label. Pretty neat label with the moon in the background and stuff. Pretty cool. This is Sterling in the Dead Wax, so mastered it, Sterling, no initials as to who did it, so we don't know that. But yeah, a really cool singer-songwriter kind of album, just really relaxing, enjoyable, you know, peaceful music that sort of tells a story. And I was really impressed with the songs on here I hadn't heard. The closing track, Ghosts, awesome song, nice long song, just a great album. And yeah, check this out if you think you might like it. But it's enjoyable for me, and this one will be staying in the collection. Okay, next thing we have to talk about is the debut album from Yellow Magic Orchestra. This is their self-titled debut album originally released in 1978. Didn't get to the States here until 1979, and that's what this pressing is, a US pressing of this album from 1979. And Yellow Magic Orchestra are a very early synth pop oriented band, very the early stages of synth pop. You get sort of a blend of the early synthesizer music like you would get on like Synergy, some other bands like that were very just instrumental synthesizer music. This sort of blends a more pop, more of a pop vibe to the synthesizer work, and you start to hear the early stages of synth pop here. So yeah, really cool, interesting music here. Very Asian at times. Definitely very Japanese. Definitely hear that influence here. Put out here in the States on Horizon Records. So there is that. And we have TML-M in the dead wax. So that was cut at the mastering lab in Los Angeles, and the M stands for the master lathe. You'll sometimes see TML-S, that was the slave lathe, or the TML-X extra lathe, which was a Neumann lathe. But they had 3 lathes, so they could cut 3 masters at the same time. They were all tube-driven lathes, so some really good. It's really good to see that in the dead wax. You know, you're probably going to get a good sounding pressing of the album if it says TML in the dead wax. But yeah, YMO, early synth pop, some more of just straight ahead instrumental synth work. Just cool stuff. Another one that's going to be going in the collection. Okay, moving on, different genres here again. We're kind of all over the place with the genres today, and that's a great thing. I love to have a good mixture. So we have a soundtrack to a film by Neil Young titled A Journey Through the Past. This is very well known if you're a Neil Young fan as being one of the few things that never was released on CD. And I think now that I own this, I kind of understand why it's never been released on CD. Is just the quality overall is not that great, I would say. There's a lot of really rough sounding recordings from TV shows and stuff. And I haven't actually seen the film, but it's kind of a sort of almost like a documentary of his career, mixed with some live sort of recordings, and yeah, I can't really say much about the film itself, but I get the feeling that it's sort of one of those almost like U2's Rattle and Hum, where it's kind of like a music video film, if that makes any kind of sense. But yeah, some interesting live pieces on here, but a lot of stuff that's just not that great quality. Get some nice photographs here. And the original paper inner sleeves, you know, you get Journey Through the Past. It says in the middle where the cutout is, so you'll see that if you actually have the records in these sleeves. This is on Reprise Records, and we have Sterling LH in the dead wax, so that was Lee Holko at Sterling. I don't know if I've seen LH in the dead wax before. I don't know much about Lee Holko. Don't know much about him, but 2 LP set on Reprise. So get a lot of photos here. Just kind of cool to see all these photos. I enjoy seeing the photos. So yeah, I think I had to pay around $12 for this. This is something that typically when you find it doesn't go for cheap, but interesting piece, and I'm going to be keeping it in the collection. Not something I would probably pull, but every once in a while it'd be nice to hear. A really cool version of Ohio on here. Find the Cost of Freedom, Southern Man. There's some good stuff on here, but some of it is not and not very well recorded, so I think that's why it's never been released on CD. It's changing directions once again. We have the Panda Bear-Tomboy box set that was released in 2011, I believe. Really cool thick box here. You got 4 LPs and a booklet, and this was a box set that was released for the was it American Cancer Society, I believe. There was some sort of charity that was represented for this. So you get the Tomboy LP, and then you get some a cappella versions of the songs and some instrumental versions of the songs, and then you get some remix versions of the album as well. So we have the booklet here, mostly just lyrics in here, liner notes. And then the albums themselves have some artwork on them. That's the instrumentals and acapellas. Here are the single mixes, so just remixed versions of the album. And this is the LP, covers 2 discs. It's an expanded version, so I guess there's some bonus tracks on here. I don't actually own like a CD or anything of this album. First LP. So I don't know exactly how to explain Panda Bear. He is part of the Animal Collective, if you're familiar with that group. Very much processed electronic music with vocals, and the vocals are processed, and it's almost like a psychedelic electronic kind of music. It's very unique, very interesting. I do enjoy it. LPs have little custom labels on them, and this was mastered by Jay Lambert at JLM Mastering. Common mastering facility to be used these days, and they sound good. I bought this box set from Pop Market. They had a deal. It was like $25, $26. Very reasonably priced for a 4 LP box set, and just a cool piece to have in my collection. And I really, you know, I like the electronic, modern, psychedelic kind of music. Very interesting if you like Tame Impala, if you, as I said, if you like Animal Collective, and Casket Girls, stuff like that. You're gonna like this. It's an enjoyable piece, and glad to have this in the collection. So thank you for watching another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments down below. I always enjoy those. And have a great week. Please subscribe. See you again soon. Cheers.